How's it going, everybody? My name is Eli, and today I wanted to do a review on my 2011 Cadillac SRX. I've had this car now for over a year. I've driven it about 18,000 miles, and it has been an awesome car. So I thought it'd be a good time to do a review of this car, all the things that I really like about it, and some of the work that I've had to do, and just my overall thoughts about this car. I think first off, this car is just a gorgeous vehicle. I think Cadillac did a really good job with the design, all the lines, the grille, everything about it. It looks classic and fancy and luxurious. The other thing, this car has been able to handle a lot. So I bought it down in Florida, and then we drove it to Colorado and been up in the mountains, over mountain passes. Did great on the road trip, on the highway, brought it to the beaches. So this car has been through a lot. Take a look at the inside of this car and see some of the features that we got going on. One thing I wanted to mention here on these driver's seats, they said really nice seats here. You have a lot of controls for how you want, move it forward, up, down, the reclining, and the lumbar support. And then you can actually save those positions and save it here in this memory, so that I have one and my wife has one, so it's really easy to save it right where you want it and come back exactly to that spot. Really nice interior. They have a lot of nice touches like this, just wood trim and the chrome. The seats are very comfortable. They have these nice leather seats, very spacious up here in the front seat. The back seat is actually not very spacious, but the front seat have a nice cluster here. Push to start engine. Get this, and you're greeted by the Cadillac sign there. Some things I wanted to touch on were the screen here. One of the things I really like about this car is that you have the ability to put this down if you're driving at night, you don't want all the light, or just you don't want that distraction, or if you wanted to show like navigation and have maps show up, you could do that too. This car has a really great speaker system. You can see up here it's Bose speakers throughout the car, and so it does a really good job of giving high quality sound. One thing that's interesting, you can see right here, so it is a DVD player, so you can actually put a DVD and have it going, but you can only do that when the car is in park. So I'm not sure quite the thinking. I understand, don't want people to drive and watch a movie, but then are people just going to sit in their car and watch a movie? I'm not sure. This car has a lot of storage as you go down. Here, for example, you push this up, and then in there, maybe you can see you have a cigarette lighter and just a neat little storage container there. You have the heated seats. To go back, there's another little pocket here in the shape of similar shape of the Cadillac logo. These cup holders, I was going to mention about them. You have the ability, this is kind of the shorter, where you can hit this button, that folds up, and then you have the really deep cup holders available. So if you have a big water bottle or a larger cup, that would go right there. The center console here, you can see it has these two buttons here. If you hit the one on the left, it's just this top thing, a nice little storage. Like I said, normally I keep a pen there. And then if you hit the one on the right, this other button, then you have a really deep storage, and that's where you see this goes all the way down here, and here you have a aux, you have a cigarette lighter, an aux port for audio, and a USB. Normally when I want to connect my phone, I will just use that port and connect my phone that way. One interesting thing about this car, it does have Bluetooth, but the Bluetooth is strictly for phone calls, not for audio. And you think back in 2011, it's like, okay, people had a music player, an iPod, and then they also had a phone. One feature I want to point out here in the glove box is you can kind of see it separated. There's this upper compartment and this lower. And the reason for that is this thing right over here is actually a vent. So if you wanted to put your air conditioning system into this bottom portion, you could either have a heated or a cooled pocket. So just something like that, those little things like that make this car pretty special. Another thing, you can't see it right now, you get a nice, just a very subtle light right here. And when you're driving at night, it's a really nice feeling in here. Going up here to the top of the car, you can kind of see, here's buttons for the sunroof, well, the moonroof. It goes all the way back over the passengers. Very nice for driving around. Here in the back seat, you can see it's a little bit small, actually, especially for families. This car is tough. So my wife and I, whenever it's both of us and our baby, the passenger seat is more forward than either of us it would be comfortable for. So it's just, it's tight. This car is definitely made for 2 adults in the front. You know, a car seat in the back definitely makes it really tight back here. I'm gonna go ahead and open up this sunroof. This, you have a shade here that's halfway, and then so you can move the shade all the way back, and then this window you can open or close it. But this has been really fun to have, especially driving around here in Colorado. We've gone driving through the mountains, and just being able to look through the top of the car, look at some of those mountains, is actually a pretty cool thing. So back here also you have this, it folds down, more cup holders here, another little storage area there. This is one of the weirdest things. I don't know what this is for, but it folds down and gives you access to the trunk of the car. Why this is here, the only thing I could think of is if you had maybe skis or something and you were trying, you know, something really long. If anybody has an idea for what that is, please let me know. I'm really interested, you know, to find that out. So this rear hatch is very functional. Unfortunately, it fails on a lot of people, so I actually made a video about replacing that, getting that to go up. But it's a really nice storage area. You have a lot of storage for this size of car. Cadillac has some hidden storage spots in the back. So you have these Velcro spots here that you could put something down there. And you also have these tie-down straps. This rail system right here is actually so you could separate or divide your trunk space. So if you wanted, that's what this thing here is, it slides into the rail. And then, you know, if you wanted to put just your groceries up front or whatever it is, that could be done that way. I want to show you though, I think people that probably have driven this car, owned it for hundreds of miles, thousands of miles, don't know this, is you have a really deep storage space here, and then if you pull this up even more, you have even more storage back here. This is probably where the jack was at originally, I imagine, but then you have this thing here, it's a little air compressor. Yeah, just kind of cool, but very hidden pocket back here. Wow. So I wanted to get a shot with this kind of divider here in the back. So this, you know, you can press these here, and these slide up and down these rails. So if you want to slide it into any of these spots, you know, lock it in there, and yeah, kind of have a customizable storage space here. So here we go. It's a 3-liter V6 engine. One of the things I like about this is that You have this piece of plastic here which protects it, but if you wanted to work on it, it's actually fairly accessible. I know a lot of modern cars, it's pretty tight to do those things, but here it's literally pulling off one bolt here in the gas can. This comes off and you have access to the engine. And I bought it, you know, it had 109,000 miles, so I did a 100,000 mile warranty, or you know, kind of those 100,000 mile checks. So I changed the spark plugs, you know, oil, I serviced the transmission, all those just kind of routine maintenance. As far as failures, the mass airflow sensor on our road trip went out, and then I've had some issues with the oxygen, the O2 sensors. So I had those changed. The thermostat, I replaced that. Overall, I'd say this car's been really reliable, and I hope that, you know, right now I'm at 127,000 miles, and I hope to make it to well over 200,000 miles in this car. This car drives super well also. It's really a quiet ride and smooth, and feels like there's plenty of power. It's about 285 horsepower, so really smooth. And here on the gear shifter, if you wanted, you can put it into sport mode, which gives you a little bit more control over the gear that you're in, and make some adjustments on suspension and turning, things like that. But most of the time I just keep it in regular, and like I said, the car is still plenty responsive, has a lot of power, and it's a really good balance between a high quality and safe ride, and enjoyable. All right, thank you very much for watching. Some other things that I'm hoping to do with this car. One, I want to change the headlights. I know that's been a really big issue with a lot of people with these cars. Sounds like they had moisture getting into them. So, and mine are just a little bit dim, so I want to upgrade them. So I'll go through that, changing headlights, and I have some steering suspension components that I kind of want to upgrade. And yeah, if there's anything else, let me know. I'd be happy to jump into some of these projects. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.